I understand that we live in a country where the cost of living is crazy, but we can still save a little $20. You may not be able to go to Channel or Hermes or Louis Vuitton or Balenciaga or Christian Louboutin, but there are other places. Even if you go to Walgreens, regular pharmacy, get something for $5, $2. You can have a nice makeup, to kind of boost yourself. Save some money. Go to the beauty salon.
Yes.
Have some, nice manicure and pedicure. And it goes for both men and women.
So relaxing.
Sometimes some men tend to say, you know what? Oh, it's a women thing. No. When you do it, you're going to feel good. I remember one time I went to the nail place and I saw 3 men. No, it was 4 of them. It was a father with his 3 sons.
Wow. Awesome.
Man, they were at the nail place. They had a blast. And at that nail place, they also serve wine.
Okay.
So, and each of them had a glass of wine. And I'm like, now you force me guys to join you. It seemed like a party.
Right.
I really enjoyed that moment.
Right.
With them at the nail place. And we spoke about self-care, the importance of self-care. Yes. And they were like, oh, you know what? We big on that. We do our nails every other week. And I'm like, oh, so who? Now I have to change because I do my every other week.
Okay.
So it's very important because
it is.
He makes you feel good.
Yes.
When you wake up,
yes,
you dress nice. You take a nice shower. Many times I see you, I thought you were going to a wedding. I remember one time, when I met with you, and I'm like, oh, hey, yo, why you think you were going? So you dress like that just to me. But,
makes me feel
the
good.
joy,
yes.
the smile that you had on your face that day, it makes you feel good.
Yes.
Even if you're not going outside. Even if you're going to spend the entire day in the house, do things that can boost your spirit.
Yes.
It's very important. And some people, they go to the gym. Some people will go to a yoga practice.
I love Zumba. That's my choice of exercise because I love to dance. And so Zumba is like dancing.
Yes.
So my thing is to go 3 times a week. And when I miss, I feel the difference in my body, even in my spirit, how I feel, And so it's very important to find some type of, physical activity that, you can tap into at least on a weekly basis.
And physical exercise, kind of help you release anxiety and stress.
Exactly. Oh, man. Yes, it does.
Okay, so let me start with my questions now.
Okay.
So how do you prioritize your mental health? And what are the strategies do you find most effective?
Okay. So first and foremost, I didn't mention this about myself. I am a born-again Christian. I was raised Catholic, and a coworker, nurse, when we had evening clinic, invited me to come to her church that night. We finished early, and I said, why not? And I loved the service. I loved everything about it. And I was going to the mass and going to service every Sunday, until one day God said, you could decide, it's going to be fine. And so I love praising and worshiping God through music, through how I live my life, through letting Him use me for others in whatever way. And first and foremost is my prayer life. I love to, all it is talking to God. Prayer is talking to God. And when you build a relationship, there's nothing like it. You don't have to speak to anybody else. You don't have to, sometimes we do to get advice.
And that
some people are
that
professional.
Can play a major role into taking care of
exactly.
taking care of yourself.
Exactly.
Because you create time, to be in silence.
Exactly.
To pray the God that you love.
Amen. Amen. And, you know, I respect all faiths, okay? But I think it's so important when you do have, you know, a relationship with a spiritual being that you can pray to, talk to, and feel good when you're done, and feel peace, you know, and love and joy, of course. I love life, and I love to enjoy life. People sometimes say, aren't you ever sad? Aren't you ever? Yes, there are times.
Especially when
there are times.
I like, you know, when you mention when you have a relationship.
Yes. Amen.
You know, with God, because we all can go to church.
Yes.
Just by going to church, it doesn't mean that you have a relationship.
Amen.
With God. But when you create that relationship, that bond, you're gonna feel like a different person.
Yes. Yes. And I have to just mention, okay, that, you know, when I was younger, as a child, I don't want anyone to misunderstand. In the faith, when I was raised Catholic, I wasn't really taught relationship with God. I thought God was out there, I was here. However, I realized that it is taught relationship with God. And even more and more now in the Catholic faith are they showing and teaching relationship with the Lord. And so I wanted to make sure I correct that. But I became a born-again Christian almost 30 years ago.
I mean, you know, for me, you know, who have always been a Catholic person, and I've always been part of groups in church, relationship. I don't know, if you just go to church, you know, every Sunday, you may miss that. But when you are part of a group in the church, you know, relationship with God will be taught.
Amen. Amen. And so thank you for affirming that. And that has helped me tremendously. Being able to know that He's right here with us and I can talk to Him 24/7, 365 when it's a leap year, 366 days a year. And that has been such a wonderful practice of mine to pray anything. You know, I pray with so many people on a daily basis. If you tell me right now, you know, like this morning, I called one of my mentors and she said she had a terrible night. Instantly, I went into prayer for her and with her. And it helped her, it helped me to see that God is using me. So I believe that that has helped my mental health, you know?
Okay.
And I recommend it.
Let me tell you something. I respect people's choices. I respect all faith. But I always tell people, you cannot go wrong with God.
No.
If you choose not to serve, I respect that.
Right.
I'm not God. I'm nobody to tell you what your choices should be.
Amen.
But at the same token, I know if you do, you will benefit greatly from it.
Yes.
God have been, you know,
Amen.
very powerful in my life. I would not be the person that I am today if God was not there.
Amen.
You know, for me, I would not be the person that I am today if I did not allow Him to be the center